Travis Wayne Goodsell. Now that the lawsuit has been approved for processing and Jared Bennett's job is in jeopardy, I don't know if he's up for resubmission to continue, but we'll find out soon enough, I guess. But there are a couple of things that I need to submit to the court first before submitting the summons to the defendant. The first is to include the additional evidence against my landlord and property manager, who are co-conspirators again in this case, as they sent me a document, signed document, confirming or admitting guilt. They confessed to their MO, to lie in wait, attack in the future. I complain, they lie in wait, and they attack in the future, etc. They also admitted the nature of the crime that they committed, that they were fraudulently presenting me and this building as assisted living rather than as independent living. And so that will be submitted as further evidence in a motion, which will have to be approved by the judge for submission, I believe. The other one is a correction. Remember, I was calling it a Seagull Gate and then corrected myself as I found out it was the Eagle Gate. I need to put that in there specifically because I can then throw in the symbolism referring directly to Brigham Young being an Illuminati member of the Scottish Rites Lodge. I need to find that picture. It's lost in my large picture files. So let's go online to find it. Live in Freemasonry. Okay. Holiness to the Lord. Isn't that interesting? Joseph Smith Sr. had a Holiness to the Lord parchment. The question is, can I establish it as Scottish Rites, York Rites, or both? And it looks like it's York Rites. Because if I can find a 33 degree, and yeah, it looks like it is York Rites. The Beehive Lodge. Monarch Lodge. Yeah, it does appear to be Zion's Cooperative Mercantile Institution. That's Mormon. Come on, guys, help me out here. Show me a Scottish Rites so that I can dismiss the claim. Because so far we've confirmed it's York Rites. Yeah, I'm not seeing any support for 33rd degree. You'd see the 33rd degree for Scottish Rites. No, nothing. No 33rd degree attached with any of the beehives. Okay. So yeah, sure enough. Oh, wait a minute. Scottish Rite. Okay, we'll check that after we get this picture. It's a GIF. About this version. That's a JPEG. Good. Yeah, sun, moon, stars. Holiness to the Lord. Beehive. The all-seeing eye of God at the keystone. It's York. It's York. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah. See, their keystone doesn't even have, there's no inverted pentagrams. Okay. Okay, let's go to Scottish Rite. So there's 33rd. There's a picture of rankings with people on different steps, but no Beehive. And I can put in they have York versus, they have both. That looks almost like a Beehive, but I can't quite tell. And it's on the York right side though. I mean, it's obvious, it's very likely a crown, but it looks very much like an arc with the keystone and a beehive in the middle. But it's too small for me to identify. Huh? I'm listening to the news at the same time because I missed it yesterday. And he's talking about something else. Okay, now we're looking for a beehive with Scottish rites. Beehive, beehive. I'm seeing crowns, I'm seeing 33rd degree, which confirms this year's date away from the date that Jews have assigned to the Exodus, which is 33 for the two eagles, doubled. There's a 32. It should be a 32 on my other Scottish ride. Oh, no, not music. No. Come on. Where are you? Should be 32 degree. Years later, Microsoft shows the picture on the screen. It's now black, it's white. Now it's, 33. Okay, I've got to correct this and get a 32 degree. Alright. Alright, there we go. I'm not sure if I've submitted a 33 degree with the filing, so I can do the corrected one. 32. Oh, that's a very beautiful picture. There's the Scottish Rites Wikipedia page lists the different ranks versus location. So I've got to correct the picture I was using, which shows the southern York Rites levels. I need to find the western New York levels, or put the western New York levels, because people are putting mistakes up here. No, that's not Scottish, that's York Rites. Cross, the empty cross with the empty crown. No, 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 no. Yeah, I'm not seeing any Beehive associated with Scottish Rites. There is nothing. No, again, York Rite. You even say York Rite. Why are you putting York Rite on Scottish Rites page? What is wrong with you people? And notice the 32 degree is contained within a pyramid delta symbol. Goodness. Ancient and primitive rite. I have the Egyptian Ankh between the... That's pretty cool. Here's a picture. It's Beehive. I'm not seeing a degree of 33. So that's York Rites. So here's another structure level, which again it's got the specific Scottish Rites, as they had different versions depending on which one. Mason, that's York Rites. Knights Templar, there they are. They're claiming there's a sublime prince of the royal secret above that. There's also a Red Cross Constantine. That would be the honorary title, I would assume. Yeah, because the categories are divided up into sections. So this one does seem to be the more accurate for the royal or York Rites, but is only showing one version of the Scottish Rites. The Eastern Star. You mean Lucifer? It's on the Scottish Rite side. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. So, yep, we'll include this. Oh, church, you have no case against me to defend. Yeah, no Beehives. Beehive is officially York Rites, because there is nothing in the Scottish Rites other than the Inverted Pentagram. Yep, so the Smith's doctrine of the 3 degrees of glory, York Rites, that's where it comes from, guys. Now you know. sun, moon, and stars. Which means that the eagle on the eagle gate on top of the beehive means the eagle has conquered the beehive, the York rights. That's what I was looking for, was to confirm it was York rights and not a potential Freemasonry generally of both Scottish and York. And thus, the other evidence that I have that the Illuminati conquered the Scottish rights, infiltrated and took over, that confirms that Brigham Young had conquered Smith and conquered the York rights. Alrighty. So, in the previous case, the church lawyers filed a motion to dismiss based upon failure to state a claim upon which relief can be granted. That's Rule 12b-6. The problem, well, one of the problems, is that they filed it without proper appearance to the court. Yes, they appeared to the court. They didn't do it properly. They didn't return the the waiver of summons, and I was then supposed to file it with the court. And then at that point, they would respond within a period of time, and if they can't find reason to dismiss the case properly, not through this is for evidentiary hearings, because well, they have to respond to my complaint. They have to respond to each and every single one of my complaints. There were 44 complaints. They didn't respond to any of those in their motion to dismiss. And instead went right to this one. And when I read this from the legal ThomsonReuters.com blog, I'm like, dude, seriously? It gets worse what they did to me. And so that was supposed to be the process. They returned the waiver of summons to me, saying, yes, we agree to it. I then submit it to the court. They have received the summons. We can proceed. They then have a time period of which to reply to my complaint. And then I then have 14 days to respond to their reply. Then it's supposed to be decided by the magistrate judge as to whether an evidentiary hearing is necessary, at which point I then present an evidentiary list for the hearing. And then the defendant would be able to see that evidentiary list. If they recognize on the list that the evidence does not correspond with the complaint, they can then file a motion to dismiss for failure to state a claim upon which relief can be granted. But for them to file the motion to fail to state a claim without the motion having been submitted to the court and the certificate of service and all that stuff, their motion is wrongful. It's null and void, therefore. And the judges, however, let it go, as they are all educated, licensed, degreed, passed the bar, etc., whereas I'm a pro se litigant without any of that. I'm having to read the law for myself and recognizing they're not following it whatsoever. And so here we have Rule 12b-6, which this legal firm is doing a blog discussing. And it says, as a practical matter, Rule 12b-6 motions are rarely successful. Oh? And yet the lawyers use this as their excuse. Nothing else. This one as their Hail Mary. Wow. And here, listen, and when they are, their success usually has more to do with the judge than the law. Yeah. Can you say compromised? Can you say judge needed to recuse? Exactly. And so, yeah, this is horrifying, what they did to me. But they appear in exams and bar exams of civil procedure questions. And so, yeah, I can actually put this in. Interesting. Yeah, so this is Reuters. So Thomson Reuters. This is the news agency Reuters. Interesting. Alright. That's pretty much the basics. Alright, we'll do a copy and paste into a Word program so that I can refer to it. And so, not only was this wrongfully applied, it didn't even have any bearing saved. Didn't have any bearing in the case because I was able to show, well, here's where they took advantage, is because I was expecting to file an evidentiary list as outlined in the procedures and go to a hearing. That's where I would present the evidence. Instead, they threw this in, claiming that it was all, frivolous and conspiratorial, a conspiratory theory. And so they were doing it prematurely. You're supposed to wait until you see the evidence before you claim this. This is what you do in the press. Say, oh, the case is frivolous. We look forward to our day in court to show that this is just a conspiracy theory against our defendant. That's what you would expect. But not in the courts. The courts is a different matter. You can't go to the judge prematurely and say it's frivolous, dismiss the case, don't you dare allow it to go forward. You can't do that. But that's exactly what the church did to me, as their lawyers threatened the court with this motion to dismiss and said, you dismiss this case before it ever gets into any further into the evidence. And so I can use this now. Wow. I mean, my God. And so they go over examples of how it could be applied. But like it says, it's rarely used. And when it's used, it's because of the judge. They know the judge will side with them. Or they're throwing a Hail Mary, hoping the judge will side with them. Again, I got them. God. August 3rd, 2019. I should probably make sure to put that in there too. Oh, let's, whoops. There we go. Okay, now, is this a picture that I can save? No. Okay. Alrighty. And then Adobe Photoshop Express. And you gotta get the app, not the download. Download is crap. Oh, my God. Alright, where are you? Of course you could have done more. You could have followed the money. We're talking about Mueller case, a top Mueller official saying we could have done more. It's too late. You betrayed America by not following the money, by not pursuing the indictment of the sitting president. Because, department regs say that we shouldn't do that. It's nowhere in the law, but, you know, we weren't going to do it. We're going to leave it to the courts. Alrighty. So then we insert the picture into the file. I could probably even submit this as the evidence. I'm not sure if I'd have to put it into a PDF. I probably would. Let's do the website link and include that as well. Alrighty, and save, there we go. Alrighty, so yeah, as you can see, I'm setting up for the two filings now that the case is proceeding, as I'm taking you 30 minutes into the whole explanation here. And so, the first one is the co-conspirators, the landlord and the property manager, who have confessed to not only their crimes and guilt in the matter, but also to their modus operandi, that they will lie in wait, that they are currently lying in wait to again evict me when this matter is dealt with. And then the other one has to do with correcting the Eagle Gate from the Seagull Gate that I put in the file in the first complaint. And I will then bring up the Reuters by pointing out that apparently the previous case did not wait for the evidentiary hearing and the presenting of the list of evidence before claiming that there was no claim upon which relief could be granted, and point out the Reuters article as submitted evidence to that effect, and that they all know that it's rare, but that it is used on their tests for the bar exam and in their schools, and that therefore they had an advantage over me because I'm not educated, didn't pass the bar, etc. And so I didn't know anything about this, They did. They knew it was rare. They proceeded. So I will use that against them. And my complaint already informs them that there was evidence upon which relief could be granted. They paid Dr. Cohn. I caught them. I caught them also trying to cover it up once it was notified to the courts. That's a sufficient claim upon which relief can be granted. And instead, they manipulated the judges, as Reuters indicates. So I will present that also, and point out that because the previous case allowed for the lack of evidence to be used against me before an evidentiary hearing where the evidence was supposed to be presented, I therefore am required in this case to protect myself from such a similar tactic and present the evidence. So that's how it's going. That's how they're going to play it. That's how we're going to do it. And so, yeah, I'll go over the Scottish rites with the Beehive being York rites, the holiness to the Lord being York rites, also coming from Jewish mysticism, and that I put in my complaint the exact date. So I will again remind them of the exact date, put in that this is year 3333 from the Exodus, which is the degrees, the highest ranking being 32 and then the honorary 33. And so I'll be working on that today. I'm not sure if I'll get it done. It might be tomorrow when I can do it, because I'll have all day tomorrow to work on it. But we'll see.